that time again, ladies and gentlemen. Year 3 of NFL record predictions. And today, the Sports Scoop is coming at you with our week 1 record predictions for the 2022-2023 NFL season. And we could not be more excited. It doesn't feel real because school hasn't started for us yet. So it feels like the NFL shouldn't start, but we are a week away as of today to the kickoff of the NFL season. Year 3 of the channel doing the NFL, year 3 of kind of us covering NFL stuff. So obviously we are super excited. Hopefully we're getting better at this. But as I said, we'll be going over every single game on the week 1 slate. As always, I am joined by my astute co-hosts. First, I'm Kean McDermott. I'm joined by Dylan Shallon.
I'm doing very well, and I'm very excited to break this one down for you guys.
See, probably some of my favorite videos, as if you watched it last year. I did come on top last year, so hoping to repeat.
But without further ado, let's get into the predictions. All right, this doesn't really feel real, but the Thursday night game and first game of the NFL season, and this could immediately be one of the best games of the entire season, and that is the Buffalo Bills going to the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. This game really, to start off the season, it couldn't get much better. This is one of the best games in my lifetime I've seen. This is going to be a fantastic game. You look at the defense, you look at the offenses, just high power on both sides of the ball, coaching staff. There is so much talent on each of these rosters. But Dylan, I'm going to you first. Give us a preview of the game and what you think the outcome will be.
Yeah, I'm just going to say first that the schedule makers hit the nail right on the head with this one. They couldn't have scheduled a more perfect game to start off the NFL season. Both of these teams are the predicted Super Bowl teams in their conferences from what I'm seeing most of the time. I think as far as I'm not as high on the Rams as a lot of people are, which I think you guys can tell where I'm going to go with my prediction now, but I think they're both so good that there's not really much you can do to make a better game. But more going into the game now. I think Buffalo have pretty much everything in their roster at least a great status. Now, the only step up from great is elite, and I think they have elite pretty much everywhere on the roster other than the linebacking core and the defensive line. The Rams, I'm not sure about Stafford's elbow. I'm not sure about the new wide receiver core. And I'm not sure about the run game. I'm going to go Buffalo, and I'm going to go Buffalo relatively convincingly.
Wow. I don't know. I think this game, and Serge will get to you soon, but I think
it's another year of me hating on the Rams, though.
Yeah, that's true. And I do think the Rams could see a slump this year. Obviously, Odell Beckham still, we don't know where he's going. They got Allen Robinson into that receiving core, who's looked great, at least from what I've seen across training camp. And I think, obviously, Dylan, you're questioning that receiver core, but they have Cooper Kupp, so it's very hard to question that.
It's
duo
different.
That was so
different now, though. It's different now because I think that Odell Beckham was not going to want to be the wide receiver. Well, obviously, he wanted to be the wide receiver one, but he was completely content taking a backstage role in order to win a Super Bowl. Whereas Allen Robinson, I think, is going to want more targets because last year he lost them.
Yeah, right. And I think especially for a kind of, I would say a Buffalo team that we know disappoints, but at least in the postseason, but in the regular season, we know how lethal this team is. I think the key to this game is going to be what will the Bills defense do against this Rams offense? Because we know no matter what defense the Bills can score, the Bills are a team that are going to be scoring. If anything, this team has gotten better. They've gotten more running backs. They obviously still have Stephon Diggs. They've drafted very well. The offensive line has gotten better. And if anything, I think that defense is still good. You still have the two safeties who is the best safety duo in the league. You're getting Tre'Davious White back, who actually, no, I don't think
Tre'Davious will not
he's
be
going to miss the first 4 weeks.
You're right. He is expecting to miss. So that's big. But again, they were able to deal somewhat without him last year. Obviously, not very well in that last 13 seconds, but I'm going to give this one to the Bills as well. I think you're crazy by saying convincingly, Dylan, and I think it's not going to be.
I said relatively convincingly. I'm not going to say it's going to be a 20-point game. I think relatively convincingly, though, like 2 scores.
Yeah, I'm not all right. I don't think it'll be convincing. I think it'll be a 1-score game. If that, I think it'll. What else could it be? But I think it's going to be a very, very close game. Serge, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, like you said, what you talked about towards the end, really the Bills missing Tre'Davious White makes this game so much more hard to predict, because otherwise I would say, obviously these are 2 of the best teams in the league, but I think Buffalo, I would have really favored them with Tre'Davious White, but missing him, that's going to hurt a lot. And I think what I think about these teams, I think they're both so complete. Like, I think on the offense, there's really no weaknesses for either teams. I think both teams have obviously solid quarterbacks. Or Bills have an elite quarterback. The Rams have a very good quarterback. Offensive lines are both solid. Receiving cores are both great. Defensive lines are great. Linebackers, I think, are great. And then really the only question mark for both teams, I think, is the secondary. And that's not really even a question mark, but they're just like one area that you can nitpick. I think with the Bills, it's losing Tre'Davious White. So into that will step either rookie Khair Lam, or it's going to be rookie Khair Lam, and then it'll be Dane Jackson. Those are going to be the two outside cornerbacks. And they're both, I think they'll be solid, but it's not Tre'Davious White. And I think that'll be a huge issue. And as for the Rams, losing Darius Williams to the Jaguars, I think is also going to be something that really hurts them. So I think it's really going to be a matter of both offenses are going to put a lot of points on the board, but which will put more points on the board, which is a more explosive offense. And I'm going to give that to the Bills. I think just with Josh Allen, with the amount of versatility and the amount of weapons that he has at his disposal, I think I've got to give it to the Bills. So as good as the Rams are, the fact that we're saying this is a Bills sweep, I think it shows you how good this team really is.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on. Jalen Ramsey came out of surgery 4 days ago. He's expected to play still, but it's something you can look at.
Yeah,
so that's another danger point.
Well, we'll move on now. That was a longer one, but now move on to what should be maybe not a quicker prediction, but not as exciting of a game. That's obviously going into the 1 p.m. window on Sunday, which I'm so excited to finally have back.
So excited.
And that is the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Detroit Lions. And I think this will be a great game. You look at this a year ago, 2 years ago, this is a game no one cares about. I think this will be an electric game. You look at two teams who really this offseason have gone out and significantly improved their rosters. The 100%. Eagles, especially. The Eagles could have a fantastic year if Jalen Hurts pans out. And I think the Lions, again, I've kind of been a guy who's been advocating for Jared Goff. As a guy who I think, go give him another year. He wasn't horrible. Obviously, the Lions weren't good last year, but you look at that team and that team was quite horrible. And this year I think is better. I think the receiving core has gotten a lot better. They brought in DJ Chark. They brought in Jameson Williams. You get a year 2 out of Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I think will be very good. You get DeAndre Swift back healthy. It's an offensive line that is arguably the best in the NFL right now. And defensively, they bring in Aiden Hutchinson with, in the draft. So I think this team has gotten a lot better. It's a tough one. I would not hate anyone for going for the Lions. I think it's a very, very arguable pick, but I'm going to go for the Philadelphia Eagles here, just because I think this offense is so high-powered. And defensively, the secondary, we've obviously seen who they brought in, just got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's a very, very good team in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm looking for any reason to go against the Eagles, but I'm not going to be able to in this one. The Lions, while they've built their roster in a way that I very much like, they're still very much in the underrated phase. Jameson Williams will not be playing in this upcoming one.
Oh, he won't be.
He will not be.
He'll miss he got injured, right?
He's going to be missing for a bit. DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams will be splitting carries as far as I'm concerned right now. Jeff Okudah still recovering. I think he'll be ready for week 1, but it's a team that's not fully ready to go and beat one of the best teams in the NFC. Philadelphia, as much as I've ragged on them, they've built their roster well. I think Jalen Hurts is completely capable of running by this defense or throwing by this defense. I don't think this is going to be a team that's going to keep him down. I'm going Philadelphia.
Yeah, I've been one of the biggest advocates for the Eagles this year. I think they're
dislike you.
I think other than quarterback, it depends on Jalen Hurts. But in terms of supporting cast, it's arguably as good of a supporting cast as any team in the NFC. They're just so complete on all levels: receivers, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. They're great on every levels. Obviously, just most recently they added C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's such a good team as a whole, and I think the Lions as well. Like everyone said, very underrated team. Also, probably a top 5 offensive line. Receivers aren't that bad either. And I think overall the offense is solid. I just think the defense still needs a little bit more work, but I really like what Detroit's building. I think next year, watch out for them. But I think for this year, the Eagles are in this position where if Jalen Hurts can take that next step, the Eagles can be serious contenders in the NFC. So I'm going Eagles here.
Yeah, I like it. I think, again, this is a game I'm very excited to watch, especially with kind of the pendulum switch between these two teams, from teams that no one wants to watch and now teams that are definitely exciting. But we'll move on to the next game where we have the San Francisco 49ers playing the struggling Chicago Bears, a team that a lot of people are predicting to be the worst in the NFL, which I'm not sure if I agree with yet. Again, we'll see this week. But again, the 49ers, who just recently re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of going back and forth, which is very surprising. I don't think he'll start, which is surprising me. You think at this point in his career, he's still fighting for a starting job, and it looks like it will be Trey Lance to go out week 1. And it'll be 2 second-year quarterbacks, and Trey Lance and Justin Fields going off against each other, 2 quarterbacks who are pretty comparable, at least when you look at them coming out of the draft last year, mobile, big arm, accurate quarterbacks. And it'll be a battle. It'll be really interesting. At the end of the day, both teams have pretty good defenses. I would say the 49ers maybe edge the Bears, but besides that, these are 2 very comparable teams. I would say obviously the 49ers a little bit more firepower on the offensive side of the ball, but besides that, there's not much between them. So it's really going to come down to which quarterback can produce more. And to me, it's tough. I'm going to go to you first, Serge. We'll go to you first. We'll kind of swing the order around. What do you think when it comes down to this game?
Yeah, I think here's what I think. From obviously one of the most important things about both of these teams is how these quarterbacks pan out. And I think what I've seen from Justin Fields is he looks really good. His spending his offseason, he's really improved his throwing mechanics. Working with Luke Getsy, it seems to really work. They seem to have more of an offensive structure and offensive system, and he's looked a lot better. Albeit, again, that is in offseason training camp, it is in preseason. But at the same time, I think he's looked really, really good, and I'm expecting him to be one of the better second-year quarterbacks. But at the same time, the Bears roster as a whole is just not good enough. It's just not very good. And I think Trey Lance is really going to be aided by having, again, a really good defense led by Nick Bosa and a really good kind of offensive weapons with like Debo, Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, Trent Williams on the offensive line. I think you got to give it to the Niners here. Although I am expecting good things from Fields this year. He's going to have a really good performance to really will the Bears to beat this Niners team.
Give me I'm not joking. Give me any other team in the NFL to play the Niners this week, and I'm going to pick any other team to beat them because I don't think the 49ers are ready to play in week 1. They haven't decided who their quarterback is. I mean, they have, but they're not confident enough in him to get rid of Garoppolo. They haven't made
what team doesn't want Jimmy Garoppolo as their backup quarterback if he wants to be one?
But that's just going to cause tension.
It won't, though.
I think it will.
But he signed that
was,
contract fully knowing he was going to be the backup guy.
I think Trey Lance is okay.
But he's waiting on the downfall of Trey Lance. He wouldn't have signed that contract if he thought, okay, Trey Lance is the future. I'm not going to get a shot here.
I'm pretty sure he's openly admitted that Trey Lance is the future. That's why he signed a 1-year deal.
Be that as it may, there is going to be tension in the offense if Trey Lance doesn't.
Definitely. Right.
So the offense made no improvements. None. They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost a couple of depth pieces. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Trey Lance right now. The defense pretty much did nothing either. I think it's the same exact team minus a couple of depth pieces.
They added Charvarius Ward on the defense.
They added Charvarius Ward. That's
who did they draft? Did they have a first?
They didn't have a first round pick.
They drafted Drake Jackson the second, which I do like that. I think he could be. He'd be a sneaky breakout rookie, but overall, it's nothing much.
This is a team that is not ready for the league right now.
Yeah,
and the Chicago Bears are probably the only other team I could say that about. Even though Justin Fields looks great, they have no receiving core. They have no offensive line. They have Darnell Mooney. That's not a receiving core. That's a receiver. Yeah. They have no offensive line. They have a minimal pass rush. Akeem Hicks is it. He is.
No, Akeem Hicks is on the Bucs.
Yeah, sorry, not Akeem Hicks. I meant Robert Quinn. My bad. That is it. They have no secondary. Jalen Johnson is the only cornerback there.
I mean, I like Kyler Gordon.
I like Kyler Gordon. They also got Jaquan.
They got Jaquan Brisker. Okay, so I'll take that one back. Their
secondary has potential to be
has potential to be good. Yeah. The linebacking core is nowhere.
Besides Roquan, and he will stay this year. But
Roquan will stay, but
he might have his mind elsewhere, which is a bit concerning.
I think the Chicago Bears are probably the worst team in the league. And I would give any other team a win over the Niners, except for the Bears. And I'm going to go the Niners.
All right, moving into our next game, we have a very good division rivalry in the Steelers and the Bengals. And again, I think it's a game that obviously a year ago, 2 years ago, it's very hard to predict. And I do think it's still hard to predict simply because it's a divisional game. All 4 of these teams are going to compete with each other. But I think this is a far, far superior, I can't say superior Bengals team to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think the Bengals are much better. I think they're going to come into here and get a convincing win against a Pittsburgh team and really start the season off with a bang. They're going to be right back to where they were in that Super Bowl year. So I'm going with Cincinnati in this one.
I like the Steelers this year. I don't dislike Mitch Trubisky. I don't dislike the receiver core. I don't like the line, and I don't much like the secondary. And those are going to be the two things that they need to perform against the Bengals, because the Bengals pass attack is electric and the Bengals pass rush, surprisingly, even though they don't have a star, I would say Trey Hendrickson is actually a star. They don't have like a superstar. They don't have a TJ Watt. They are a very good pass rush, and I don't think that the Steelers will be able to beat that. I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I think really there are just a few question marks that I think the Bengals will be able to exploit week one. I think linebackers, there's potential there, but really not enough to say they'll be good. Same with the secondary and the offensive line, just not convinced by it at all. I think Steelers have some firepower, but the Bengals they're a complete team and they have firepower. So I think that'll be the difference, giving the Bengals.
Yeah, that's an easy one. It's so funny how each season switches. Like, we're talking a long time for the Eagles Lions, and this game is a game we just go past. And now we have, I think, arguably the worst team in the NFL in the Miami Dolphins facing the New England Patriots. We have another division rivalry in the Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Dylan, the Dolphins rider, please pan this one out for us.
I'm just going to go off and say it would be really fun to ride a Dolphin, like on its back. Like it would be really fun. Like go up. It would be. But
and Tua, it would be fun to ride Tua, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, we're clipping that one. But I'm going to go Miami in week one. Playing in Miami Gardens. New England actually have not won at Hard Rock Stadium since, I believe, 2017.
It was the year AB was there. I remember.
No, that was they won. The Dolphins won in week 17 in Gillette. So okay. So actually, I'll take that back. That was 2019. But either way, Tua is 3-0 against the Patriots in his career. The Dolphins have not lost to the Patriots since 2020. So these are just numbers at this point. But
you're turning into Charlie.
But I kind of am, actually. I am Charlie. I'm going to go Dolphins here. I think the offense, how are the Patriots going to stop the Waddle?
No, yeah. I'm not
it's Tyreek and Waddle. If they run a simple go route every time against these corners, they don't have Malcolm Butler there anymore. It's a rookie, and who is the cornerback?
It's just the rookies. It's like
Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills.
They're not going to be able to hold that up. I think Tua's going to have a good game. I think the defense will play well, and I think it's going to be a relatively straightforward win. But the Patriots always cause surprises, so who knows? I'm going Dolphins.
Give me New England.
Right.
I think
first different pick of the day. Let's hear why, though.
I think it's a conflict of. I think it's just the Patriots to me, and we do it every season, is like, yeah, we were talking about this before the summer even started, in that, the podcast we did, he's just so like an idiot, but that one we were talking about, like, the Patriots have declined. There have been a couple of teams who have declined, and the Patriots to me seem like a team that have declined, and this is not helping me for why I picked them to win this game. But again, it's going to come back to me, and then Dylan, the conflicts there, I think it's going to be a crap show. I think he's going to be he's going to be bad. I think he's going to turn the ball over. I think it's a Patriots defense that will be able to defend.
I want to hear why, though.
I think it's a Patriots defense that's going to be schemed well. You playing the Patriots week one, leaving Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, an entire summer to plan against you week one. I don't like it. I think Tua is a very one-trick pony quarterback, and I think it's going to be an issue. And Dylan, you say the streaks downfield. We haven't seen Tua. I don't think he has, and I'm being the casual Tua hater. I don't think he'll have the arm to do it, and I don't think he's going to be successfully completing 6-yard bombs downfield to Waddle and Hill. I think the Patriots win this one, and I think it'll be a slim win.
I don't want to turn this into an hour-long podcast, but I'm just going to bring up one final argument, and you can rebuttal it because I don't want to just finish it with that. But the one-trick pony argument, that one trick has been working against the Patriots. That one trick has been working against a lot of NFL defenses. And this defense got a lot of
NFL defense.
Wouldn't say a lot. He needs to improve. But
Tua's beaten more NFL defenses than he's lost to.
The Miami Dolphins have beaten more teams with Tua than.
Okay, fair enough. But it's beaten the Patriots all 3 times they've played each other. He's clearly reformed his game. The system is different. I think it's going to be a win. So there it is.
I mean, saying he clearly reformed his game is just How
is it not true? How is it not true though? I'm trying to understand how it's not true. He's reformed his game.
But we haven't seen him play yet.
But if you're talking about other players' off seasons, you got to talk about Tua because he's looked like one of the best off seasons in the league.
All right. I mean, that's not what I've seen.
What have you been looking at then? And Surge is the most adamant Tua hater, and he can agree with me here.
But saying he's been having one of the best offseasons in the league is just
Surge, come
I
to my
say
aid.
one of the best offseasons in the league, but he's shown a lot of improvement.
There we go.
But I think in a large part that's due to Tyreek Hill being there. And then
Tyreek Hill's still there though.
And if should I go into mine now? I think the Dolphins win because of Tyreek Hill.
All right.
I don't think it's Tua.
It doesn't have to be Tua. It has to be a win.
I just think the problem is
I don't think it ever will be Tua.
It's too much.
A win is a win.
Too much speed. It's too much receiving threats. And the Patriots defense, I think the Patriots defense won't be terrible. And I think we'll see rookies like Jack Jones step up. Again, I've been a huge Jack Jones fan. I think we'll see those guys step up. But at the same time, the Patriots offense, from what I've seen all off season, they just have looked out of sorts. Mac Jones, we see him. He did not look good in that preseason game. I think the Dolphins defense is solid. I think they'll do good against them. He's never really done well against the Dolphins defense. Tua he'll put up good stats because again, he's in a great situation in my opinion right now. And I think the Dolphins offense as a whole, he's got a lot of great weapons and it's overall a better offense. It's an offense that outmatches the Patriots defense. Again, really interested to see how Tua does this year. But I think overall it's just Dolphins. It's too much firepower for the Patriots to handle. But again, Patriots are very capable of a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if Patriots pull off the upset, but I just think it's too much. I can't go against the Dolphins with the matchups.
All right, moving into our next game, we have the revenge tour of Baker Mayfield, who has made it quite clear that he wants to embarrass the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland as the Panthers head there. And this is, again, if it weren't for Baker Mayfield, this is a pretty boring game. No Deshaun Watson. It'll be Baker Mayfield against Jacoby Brissett. And I think it's a tough one. I think the Browns definitely could come out with a win. And I'm going to give this one to the Cleveland Browns. I think the Cleveland Browns go and win this game. I think it's very funny. I think Baker Mayfield doesn't play that well. He plays average, and it's kind of like wow, you thought that you were going to have some huge comeback and you just didn't. And I think it's going to be a Browns win, excuse me. I think it'll be narrow. I think it'll be a pretty boring game. I think it's two offenses that are right, but unfortunately just this isn't a game that really piqued my interest per se.
I find it so funny because I was going to say the same exact thing. I don't think Baker's going to have a good game, and they're building it up to be like a, hey, Cleveland, screw you moment, but he's just going to prove them right.
So it's not like he's going to play bad. He's going to get 250 yards.
He won't have a terrible game, but I feel like it's just going to be like Cleveland have a better
It'll
team
be forgetful.
Anyway, so who cares? So give me the Browns.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Just because of CMC. I think CMC is going to be, I think CMC is going to be the difference in this game. Having him back again, it's night and day between this Panthers offense with and without him. I think Baker, I don't know if he'll be that great, but he's certainly an upgrade over Sam Darnold there. And I think he'll be okay enough. And I just don't trust the Browns offense at all with Jacoby Brissett. So I'm going to go Panthers here. It won't, again, I agree with you though. It won't be some sort of elite display from Baker Mayfield, but he'll get the job done. He won't get in his team's way.
Now we move on to another division rivalry, and we have the Colts against the Texans, who I'm extremely optimistic about, a team that I think will come out. And again, it's a close game. Obviously, the Colts go out and get Matt Ryan, but besides that, not much. Alec Pierce is a fantastic, the receiver they drafted out of Cincinnati. It looks like a good receiving core. I'm still just very surprised on the insane amount of hype around Michael Pittman, who really just hasn't done much. So he's being thrown into that wide receiver one role. Obviously, you have Jonathan Taylor there for the Colts. I would love to give this to the Texans. I could see the Texans winning this, but for sake of genuinely who I think will win this game, I think the Colts will win it. I think Jonathan Taylor will still run all over this Texans defense.
I am in agreement. I don't see what you guys see in the Texans. I know they have some okay young pieces, but they have nobody other than Brandon Cooks that looks to be anywhere near.
Nico Collins is good. They got
Nico Collins.
No, Nico Collins is good. Nico Collins is good, but he's nowhere near a star.
Right.
They have nobody on their team other than Brandon Cooks that looks
Dameon Pierce. Watch Dameon Pierce.
Dameon Pierce hasn't played a game yet. So they have no one I would love to stay Stingley, but he hasn't played a game yet. So they have nobody that's proven that they can play anywhere near an all-pro level. And the Colts have a couple of guys on their defense and a couple of guys on their offense. So give me the Colts.
Give them a break. They're rookie.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you expect them to do?
I think the Texans have a lot of solid pieces on defense, like Jonathan Grenard, You've got obviously Stingley, Steven Nelson, Jalen Petra, another one that's really shown up as a rookie, a really exciting piece. You've got Kamir Grugier-Hill and I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, I'm so excited about Camus.
Yeah, serious. That was a miss there.
All right.
You were talking about Grenard and Camus Bridger here, like probably the worst linebacker.
No. Jonathan Grenard is good though. No.
Grenard is.
But the point is, I think they have a lot of solid pieces on the defense, and they'll make it better than people expect because no one really cares about the Texans. I think the offensive line they've got. I think Kenyon Green's looked solid. Obviously got Laramie Tunsil there, but I think overall
it's a decent offensive line.
It's a solid offensive line. There's just not enough weapons. I think Dameon Pierce is going to have a big role immediately.
Yeah,
I'm not really buying the Colts hype, but at the same time, they're a better team than the Texans, so I got to give it to the Colts.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. We had a Colts sweep there. We move on to another divisional game, and that is the New Orleans Saints going to the Atlanta Falcons, and the Saints will win. Thank you so much for listening.
Yep, Saints. I don't even know if you can
I feel like I have to give you guys the courtesy of reasoning why I have the Saints, because that was bullshit.
But we always have one of those just in the predictions. It's just
but I don't think I actually don't think the Falcons are as bad as people are making them.
No, I don't either. I actually don't.
But the Saints will win this game. I think.
Yeah.
It's a good Saints team. It's a
too much firepower on the offense for the Saints, for the Falcons defense. That's what I'd say.
Jameis Winston's back. The Saints have good defense, good offense. The Falcons have somewhat good offense, bad defense. There's just not enough on the Falcons to beat the Saints. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Saints.
Although I am excited to see the Falcons. I'm excited
to see Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
but I think that is the only thing that'll keep this team watchable, in my opinion.
And now we will move on to Surge's Jets, who play the Ravens, and the Ravens obviously massive draft of the linebacker they got out of Navy, who should make a massive impact. But
what?
This is a
Armando Fago.
That's how you say it. Yeah, this is a Ravens win for me.
Yeah, I think. This team has really improved a lot. I
think the Jets could put up a fight.
They'll definitely. I think. Yeah. I wouldn't say they definitely will, but I think on all levels they're solid. But I think the weakness that the Ravens are going to exploit is the safeties. Because I think the safeties are the position that I have the least amount of confidence in overall. And I think just the issue is that really the Ravens have some of the best tight ends league. You got Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, who's looked brilliant. You've got Nick Boyle there as well. It's just overall such a good group. And I think it's just I think that's what the Ravens are really going to take advantage of. I think the Jets definitely have a team that on all levels, on both offense and defense, are very solid. But I think it's just very much. I think the safeties are the position really that's going to get exploited. And I think for that reason, the Ravens win.
Yeah, it'll be close though. I do, Serge.
I hope it's close, but it's the Jets. That's the issue.
There's a lot of games where I say that I think the Jets could win this game. I would look at most games and they have a chance. Yeah.
I don't think that Zach Wilson not playing is going to be what kills the Jets. I think it's just that they don't have enough speed in the linebacking core and enough speed on the edge.
No, I disagree.
I think it's not as much of a Jets problem. I just think the Ravens will simply just be the better team.
The Ravens are a complete team. They're a great team.
It's going to be Ravens.
I'm not as big on the Ravens this year. I don't think they're a very great team. Like I don't think they're a team.
I think the Ravens are one of the best.
I like the Ravens going to this year.
I don't like the receiving core.
I don't like the receiving core, but I think their tight ends are going to be. I think their tight ends are going to be good. That's what's going to. I think we're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. Really.
Speaking of tight ends, did you see the 6'7", 200-pound Georgia third string tight end?
Oh yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
The guy that hurdled the guy, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was very good. But we're all going Ravens here, so that's expected. Now moving on to a definitely less interesting game, and that's the Jaguars against the Commanders. I'm going to let you guys talk about this exciting matchup and what you gotta have coming here.
This is a Thursday night football classic, isn't it? This is the type of game that they would put on Thursday night that they know we're all going to watch because we all want football, but nobody actually cares about this.
Exactly.
I'm actually proud of the crew for not doing this.
Well, they could. There's no Thursday night. You have to put the opener. You have to put a good game.
Yeah, I'm proud of them for not putting this in week 5 Thursday night.
Yeah, this is like the week 7, like
on Prime Video.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that they put this in the slate of games that people are watching all the games. So good job, the NFL scheduling crew there. That being said, I will give you my winner of this game, and it is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have Trevor Lawrence and his crew of overpaid wide receivers taking down the Washington Commanders. And that's not to disrespect the Commanders, because I like what they're doing. I like everything they've built. I think Ron Rivera is an excellent coach. I think the offense in general is built pretty well. It's just the question marks at QB and a couple of question marks on the line. But I just think the Jaguars have that momentum going in. They have 2 first overall picks in their team. They've got a defensive line that looks solid, a secondary with a bunch of new additions that I really like, and then Trevor Lawrence, who's looked excellent in the preseason. I'm going to go with the Jags.
I love that pick, actually. I was kind of on the fence. I think if anything is to lose this Jaguars team the game, it's going to be the Washington receiving core. But I'm going to go Jaguars. Well, I like that. I think Trevor Lawrence comes out and shows why he was the first overall pick 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think you guys really took the words out of my mouth. I think Jacksonville. Really...
I thought I was being different.
No, I really think I like Jacksonville. And I think really the issue is if Chase Young is in this game, maybe it's a different result. But I think just not having that guy on the defensive line might hurt. I know they have Jonathan Allen also and Deron Payne, but I think overall Jacksonville, like they said, they made a lot of issues, albeit a lot of them were overpays, but they've definitely made their team better. And again, Trevor Lawrence has looked solid in the preseason so far, and I think they just have more pieces than Washington. And I think for that reason, we'd give me the Jaguars.
There we go. Now we move
Jaguars sweep. That is,
I know that's another divisional game. That's the Packers against the Vikings, which I really do think the Vikings could win. I'm going to save my hot take pick. I'm going to try and get my record good first week, and then I'll make my hot take picks in future weeks. But I do think this will be a very, very good game. Again, the whole thing for me, and this is another game I'm going to be watching, is what are the Packers going to like? Is Alan Lazard really going to be that guy? I do think now it's going to be Romeo Dubes, who's looked fantastic.
Doubs, but yeah, he's
like Dubes. It's not Doubs.
I think it's Doubs.
I don't like you, Serge. Maybe it is, but I think it's a receiving core that can do some, it's a receiving core that's not bad. They obviously as well have Christian Watson, who I was a massive fan of coming out of the draft. So it's definitely a Packers team that obviously losing Devontae Adams is a hole that will never be able to be filled, but I do think that it's going to be a good matchup, and I think it'll be a 1-score game, but I'm going to go Packers. I can't go against the 2-time MVP.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Vikings. So I think the Vikings usually split with the Packers. They have the past 2 years. I don't know. It's just I think the Packers are definitely better team, and the Packers will win the division, in my opinion. But this is the game that the Vikings would win, or maybe they'll win at Lambeau. I don't know, but I think they'll win one of these games, and I'm gonna predict this game because they're the home team. They made some nice additions on the line, and obviously having a edge tandem of Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith is pretty scary. And I think the weaknesses of the secondary, which coincidentally the weakness of the Packers is the receiving core. So I think they'll be relatively okay in that department. The offense is Justin Jefferson. And again, I really like the addition of Kevin
Actually, Serge, I don't know if the weakness of the Vikings is going to be their secondary. Lewis Cine, Andrew Booth has looked very good.
Yeah. I like Lewis Cine. I think he'll be
and
good.
Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth I like too, but he's coming off a bit of an injury. I don't know if he'll be ready week 1.
He looked fantastic in mini camp. He looked like early days. Booth looked very good.
I think he's solid, but I think it'll still be a weakness. But I think overall, again, going against the Packers receiving core, I don't think it should be that big a deal. And yeah, I think overall the Vikings got a lot of weapons. I think adding Kevin O'Connell, a good offensive play caller is like really good for Vikings offense that has a lot of talent. Obviously, Jefferson, Thielen, Dalvin Cook, a lot of like big name guys on that offense that really could do wonders with a great coach. And I think
KJ Osborne.
Was it KJ Osborne or BC Johnson that tore his ACL? It was one of those guys.
BC Johnson.
I think it was BC.
It was
BC Johnson. But anyway, KJ Osborne also another guy. But yeah, I think overall because of that talent, give me the Vikings here.
All right, I like it.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go Packers. Boring pick, yeah, I know, but I think the Packers have the best defense in the league right now. I think they have.
I don't know why people say that. I think
they have every position set. They have They have no absolute star other than Jair Alexander, but they have a bunch of guys that are just top 5, top 10 in their position, and I think they've got everything.
Name them.
Okay, Rashawn Gary.
Not top. No,
top 10 in this position.
Top 10.
Absolutely.
Rashawn Gary has been very underwhelming. But last year he was good.
Last year,
Rashawn Gary has not built up the hype to where he was drafted.
Yeah, he has had a lot of hype. I will agree, but I think he's top 10.
Rashawn Gary's top 10. Kenny Clark's top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kenny Clark's top 10.
Gonna say Preston Smith is just outside the top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Devondre Campbell's top 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jair Alexander's top 1.
Top 2.
Adrian Amos is top 5. That's a lot.
Adrian Amos, I don't think.
He definitely. I think Adrian Amos top 5.
And then Eric Stokes is a top 5 cornerback too. So that's
Sure. I agree.
Well, I mean, who's who's counting? You know, I mean, like,
fair enough.
And then Rasul Darvish is a lot as
There's
good
a lot of
right.
good
I forgot
pieces on that
and
defense.
obviously, and also Darnell Savage.
Darnell, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if it's the best defense, but it's just so much. I agree.
There's so many good pieces on that
Wyatt
defense.
Davis, Quay Walker.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
I forgot about Devontae Wyatt. Oh my god.
Yeah, and Quay Walker.
Quay Walker, I remember.
Quay Walker, I really like.
Didn't they draft 2 Georgia linebackers?
No,
I don't think so.
Right.
But
you're right.
I like what they have, and on the offensive side of the ball, I'm not completely upset with what they've done. I mean, Devontae Adams, getting rid of him is obviously a killer, but they're really committing to running the football, and I like that. I like having AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones as your 2 out and out running backs. They like passing the ball to Aaron Jones, but I like having 2 guys that are capable of grounding and pounding and not losing their legs. The wide receivers, while not obviously not looking like one of the better cores in the league, one of the worst cores in the league, I would say, they have a lot of players. They've got a lot of guys that are capable of stepping into that wide receiver one role, and all the guys who don't are capable of being around there in the core. So I'm not upset with what they've done with the wide receiver core. Obviously, you can't fill Devontae Adams' shoes, but you can at least do a good job in picking up players to replace them.
There we have it. Packers, 2 Packers, 1 Vikings. And now we move on to my New York Giants as they face off against the Tennessee Titans in a game that I think will be very, very close. And I'm going to go for a game like this that's close. I'm going to use my bias. I'm going to go for my team. I'm going to go for the New York Giants to beat the Tennessee Titans. And Dylan knows that he's going to pick the Giants as well. And so will Serge because they know that that they're going to win also. But again, I think it's a Giants team that's slightly improving. Again, I don't know many Giants fans who say this or who don't say this, excuse me. I think our real success will come next year, hopefully when we get a quarterback in the draft, but I think we will have an optimistic start and we'll get a win here against Tennessee. I think, again, it's a team that can cause Tennessee a lot of problems. I think we have a good front 7. No one can stop Derrick Henry also, obviously, but a front 7 that can definitely mitigate some of his production. So I'm going to go for my New York Giants here.
In Greek mythology,
nope.
What is the one thing that Giants bow down to and accept their orders?
Wow.
The correct answer here is the Titan.
That's not. All right, shut up.
It is. You can look it up. Derrick Henry is going to run all over this Giants.
That was so corny. You are,
but it's true. It is true. That is a Charlie move again, but it is true. I'm slowly transforming. I hate this, but I'm going to go Titans here, and I don't really like the Giants all that much. I think they're underrated because people think they're one of the worst teams.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I don't think they're very good, and I think the Titans, even though they just lost Harold Landry, which is very sad, and I feel really bad.
Yeah.
But
that sucks.
And didn't the Raiders pick him up?
No, he tore his ACL. He's hurt.
No, I know, but I'm pretty sure then the Titans cut him in the Raiders.
No, they didn't cut him.
That would never happen. But
maybe. Yeah. All right, never mind. Continue.
But I don't think they're going to be hurting too much from that. I think they've got a good enough defensive line that they can withstand whatever injuries come their way. Derrick Henry's going to run all over that defense with not much of a problem. And all around, I think the Titans just have a better team to be the Titans.
Yeah, I'm not really high on the Titans, but I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, this year the Colts take the division. The Titans are like, nope, still our division. And I think overall, I think, like you said, the Titans have a solid defensive line, even without Harold Landry. I think the secondary with Byard is really nice, and also Christian Fulton is an underrated cornerback.
He's a good cornerback.
He's a good cornerback. Not many people talk about him, but he's a pretty good cornerback one. You could do a lot worse.
He's going to have a good season as well.
And you get Caleb Farley back. I think overall it's a defense that's good. I think Treylon Burks, again, he's a huge X factor in this game. Also, Robert Woods, I believe he will be ready week 1.
He will be ready week 1.
I think the Giants, I think they're a team in the right direction. I really think they're a team in the right direction. But I think the Titans right now, they were the 1 team last year. I think they'll show that there are levels to this, but at the same time, this is the type of game the Giants would randomly upset the Titans. But
so
I'm going for the Titans, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants would win.
Yes, sir.
Basically. So I'm being.
Now we go into a stretch of 3 very good games, and you talk about the Rams-Bills being a good game. We're getting a fantastic matchup when the Raiders play the Chargers. This is a must-watch game. This might be the only game that I'll turn off Red Zone and only watch this game for. It's going to be fantastic, Dylan. No one. But I'm very, very excited for this game. Again, I mean, if you're an NFL fan, we don't need to explain to you why this is an electric game. Two teams in a division that has added so much talent to it, and especially these two teams, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day. These are two teams that significantly have improved. Obviously, Chandler Jones for the Raiders, Devontae Adams. Both of these teams have added so much talent. It's such a tough game to predict. And again, this is one where no one can confidently say the winner is going to be in. And even if you can, you're wrong. And deep down, it's not going to be you can't confidently say the winner. But I'm going to go for the Chargers. Again, a team that has arguably the most hype going into this season, besides maybe the Bills, the Rams, teams like that. This Chargers team is so wildly hyped, and they need to live up to this hype because this team is very good. This is a Super Bowl team. But I'm going to go for the Chargers to go 1-0 week 1.
I'm gonna go Raiders just because of the fact that I don't think J.C. Jackson is available for week 1. So it's gonna likely.
Oh, he's not.
I don't think he is.
I think he's hurt. Yeah,
he's hurt, and he'll miss I think he'll miss week 1.
Okay. I think he's missing
so
week 1.
I think the issue is that who's gonna cover Devontae Adams? Who's gonna cover just Hunter Renfrow? I think also great receiver.
Yeah, very good.
And I just think it's just gonna be too much. I think he is just such a difference maker. They have Hunter Renfrow, who's an amazing receiver, but they don't have a difference maker like Devontae. So I think for that reason, give me the Raiders. It'll be close. I'm not confident because I would have gone Chargers if JC was there. I'm not confident. I'm going to go Raiders.
That shows how much one player will change it.
Yeah.
Because this matchup is so
He's
tight.
the best receiver in football. I think it makes a difference for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go Chargers here, and I don't like going Chargers because I'm not crazy high on them. And when they go against good teams, I want to pick against them because I just don't see all the hype they're getting.
They're just mad that the Dolphins didn't take Justin Herbert.
Everyone says that. I just don't see all the crazy hype that they're getting best team in the league shouts. I don't see that. But I'm going to give them this game because I don't love Josh McDaniels. I don't love bringing in Chandler Jones, even though I think he's one of the best pass rushers in football still. I just don't think it makes sense to bring him in to go across from Max Crosby when they're pretty much identical players. And then I don't really
and especially because the Yannick Ngakoue Crosby was working last
year.
It
was working, yeah. And then I don't like the secondary. I think getting rid of Trayvon Mullen was a mistake. And I like Trayvon Merrick. I don't really think there's any other great pieces.
They got Rock Ya-Sin.
Yeah, he'll be solid.
Yeah.
But I just think
who else? The Raiders have.
I think the Chargers give them more star power than they can handle, and I think the Chargers win it. But it will be a close game. I think Derek Carr will make it close.
Yep. And now we move on to another game, which I guess thinking about it now isn't as good of a game as that would be if the Cardinals had DeAndre Hopkins as they play the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a close one. I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. Again, I'm going to go, quick prediction here. I think that's what most people would go with. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's obviously no Tyreek Hill there, but I still think it's a Chiefs team that's very good. I think defensively they've made improvements. And again, it's a Chiefs team that I do think will take a hit from Tyreek Hill. I think we'll see maybe a lack of getting those consistent 30, 40-point games. But I still think it's a Chiefs team that is still looking for a Super Bowl, team that still can compete for a Super Bowl. I think the Cardinals have taken a bit of a step back. I think it's not as good of a team. But I do think Marquise Brown will be good. I think putting him in that wide receiver 1 role was smart. I think, trading for him in the draft was a smart move from them. So that's kind of where I'm at with this game. But I think it's a Chiefs win here against Arizona.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the draft capital they traded for Marquise Brown, but overall, I think they needed a guy who could potentially be a receiver 1. I think that's what he provides. But at the same time, I think the Chiefs are just such a more complete team. Not a fan of the Cardinals offensive line. Still not a fan of the Cardinals receiving core until D-Hop does get back. The defense is, it's so-so. I think the Chiefs just on all levels are more complete. So I'd give me the Chiefs.
You guys were waiting for my hot pick the whole video here.
Oh.
I'm going Arizona here.
Wow.
Early season Cliff Kingsbury is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Early season Kyler Murray is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. So you put those two together against a Chiefs team who lost their primary firepower and a team who I still think is excellent. I still think the Chiefs are going to be the winner of that division. But against the team that's still recovering from that loss, who doesn't have a wide receiver 1. I know Kelsey's the wide receiver 1, but he's a tight end. And a team that doesn't have a good enough run game to work the clock against this fire-powered team, give me Arizona.
So there's the hot take.
There's my hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's definitely one that would be
I think
it's a hot take.
Most people would say Chiefs, but I'm surprised by that.
And now we move on to the Buccaneers Cowboys, which was last year's season opener. And this is a great one. The Buccaneers, a team to me, I'm like, oh yeah, they're still really good. A team that I kind of forgot about, especially since me and Dylan had the random stream. Tom Brady retired. Then we were like, wait, I don't think he retired. Blah, blah, blah. And then he didn't retire and he came back. And there was obviously the whole saga there. They obviously lost some offensive linemen. Alan Marpet, who lived in our hometown, obviously as well. They lost Alex Kappa. There have been some losses
Ryan
there.
Jensen.
Ryan Jensen. Oh, they didn't lose Kappa. Excuse. Oh, they did.
No, they did.
Kappa.
They lost and Jensen injury,
no.
and then Marpet retired.
Oh, okay, sorry, you're
free.
right. No, Jensen didn't go down to injury. I know he got
No, he
carted off.
did.
It was cramps.
Jensen tore his ACL. Is that for the year?
Did he?
He is.
Yep.
No, it's not torn his ACL. I think they said he could return at some point this season.
I think he's out until at least week 14, I think.
He's out for a while.
Oh,
he's definitely missed.
Someone got carted off, and I know it was just cramps.
It was worse.
That was worse.
That was worse. Oh, that was worse?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. I still think it's an offensive line that obviously that's a lot. It's your entire interior. So
they did get Jack Mason though.
Yeah, they did get Jack Mason. But this is a tough one. The Cowboys, again, a team that I think you look at that division, and kind of Charlie's been saying this as well. They have like the 5 best players or top 5 players. But besides that, it's not a great Cowboys team. Obviously, you lose Amari Cooper, and it's kind of now CeeDee Lamb. You have Jalen Tolbert, who actually really, really like who they got out of South Alabama. Yeah, but I'm gonna go for the Bucs here. I think it'll be a close one. I think the Cowboys could win. I think it'll be a very similar game to what we saw last year in the season opener. I think it'll be a high scoring game. But I'm gonna go for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here.
Yeah, I'm not really. I think the Cowboys offensive line looks really shaky going into this year. I think they've got CeeDee as a receiver one. We'll see how he does. And then Gallup, who's also, I believe he might play. I don't think he will. And then
Gallup, that was one I forgot. Because I know one of them got injured.
Obviously the defense, it's solid pieces, but I think overall it's Michael Parsons. Obviously he's going to have to do a lot of work on that in that defense to make this defense like a top 10 unit. So I'd say overall, I think the Bucs also have a bit of a few flaws, but I think overall they're a better team than the Cowboys. Give me the Bucs.
I agree that the Bucs are a better team than the Cowboys, but I'm gonna go Dallas because I think the Bucs are a little bit too injured right now. I don't think
it is a problem.
Their interior is different. I don't think Godwin's ready. They lost Gronk. They lost their backup left guard, Aaron Stinney, who was supposed to be filling in for Kappa, he's not going to be playing. So they don't know who's going to be playing there right now. And Tom Brady, he took a sabbatical and he just does not look the same right now. I don't know where his mind is. I hope he's okay. But it's a little bit questionable as to what's going on with him, whether or not he regrets his decision coming back. And I think with all that stuff on your mind, a new head coach versus a team who's been able to let their playoff loss marinate, has been able to bring in some players in the draft, let everything work on its own. I'm going to give Dallas the win. It's going to be a close one, though.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of regretting my pick. I think that it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
2 very questionable teams right now.
But now we move on to the end of a very long video, and that is the Denver Broncos playing the Seahawks, and it's going to be a Broncos win. This is a Seahawks. I think the Seahawks
game versus Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I think
what is this?
The Seahawks, they lost their identity, which is Russell Wilson. I think they had a really good draft. They need to tear it down. I think Carroll and Schneider will soon follow, but right now it's just not. It's a team that obviously is in rebuild mode. I think they'll get back. I think they could get back to the top quicker than people than most.
It's basically just quarterback.
They've got young talent, but I think overall they're too young, too inexperienced.
Than the quarterback and the defensive line.
I think
basically just
defensive line. I think they're a solid team, but it's just too inexperienced. I think give it a year, they could be a really solid team, especially if they get a good quarterback. But I think right now, the Broncos are at that level where the Seahawks want to be in a year or two. So give me the Broncos.
It's a great way to put it.
I think the Broncos are going to beat them pretty convincingly, but I think the Seahawks would have been able to give them a better match with Drew Lock in at quarterback. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Geno Smith might be better than Drew Lock just because he's not as turnover prone. He's not as just dumb. He's been in the league for a longer time. He's been able to hit his checkdowns. He's being the Seahawks Joe Flacco. but I don't think that they can beat the Broncos with that. I think with Drew Lock, if he was able to maybe take some shots, stun them early, maybe give them a game, but it's going to be the Broncos game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the week 1 picks. As always, comment down below your predictions. Let us know what you think about our picks down below. Stay tuned to the channel because we will be posting clips of each, the main game predictions as videos of their own as well. And again, guys, the NFL season's in swing. We are all seniors in high school, so we will be trying to get as much videos as we can. We were saying junior year's hard. This will be just about a little bit harder than that. So we'll be getting weekly predictions out to you guys, every week. So just expect a ton of content. As always, follow us on TikTok. We post a lot over there, and on Instagram where we have clips, graphics, everything like that. Make sure you guys support the channel before we head off to college. So make sure you guys support the channel, subscribe. All the social medias, everything you need to know is down below. Keaton McDermott, Dylan Shallon, the 10-year-old with the hat on, and Suraj Kadali. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm actually the oldest.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.